Hey guys, welcome back to another of the Deciding Factor Podcast Extra. I'm John.
And I'm Alton.
And below is Barb joining us again. And a special guest, Mr. Donnie Bovine. He is a podcaster himself, but he's a networking guru, which stay tuned and make sure you check out our normal podcast because he's going to try to convince us otherwise of what we've already talked about on this show. So make sure you click like and subscribe to our channel everywhere you can find us, especially on social media. We're going to try to get Donnie to screw up a lot here on the show so we can continue to make fun of him on social media. Please make sure you send all the fun emails to him directly, too. All right, stay tuned. This is the Deciding Factor Extra.
Bringing you their thoughts on today's news and current events. Coming to you from Austin, Texas, this is the Deciding Factor Extra. With your hosts, Alton Hill and John Herzog.
All right, we're back. Barb, we're playing ThinkFast, is that right?
We are playing ThinkFast.
So explain to Donnie, because Donnie doesn't know what he walked in on.
I'm going to win again. That's all you need to know.
It's almost
there's points. I can win something.
It's sort of points. It's points based on what I think of your answer. So it's a little nebulous.
Did
I tell you how beautiful you are, Barb?
You know, one for Donnie. Okay.
I did.
Alton did. I wasn't even on the screen yet. Yeah, that's very true. Okay, so basically, these are all the questions that you absolutely never needed to know the answer to.
Cool.
And we're going to ask you to answer them. And we'll ask the guys too. And most of the time, by the end, I don't bother answering because there's just no topping what you guys say. So without further ado, it's winter. We just drove through a snowstorm today going across the mountains of Washington. So do your pets all come inside?
No, but we are damn sure bringing the baby goats in. So we haven't had baby goats in this cold weather. So I will have 9 baby goats in the house. We'll also have ducks and baby chickens in the house as well, in crates and dog cages and the like. So the goats. Yes.
Not Tom Brady, goats.
Yeah, not Tom Brady. Baby dwarf Nigerian goats.
Are these the ones that faint?
No.
That's like the best thing.
No, it's not. That's really tragic. The reason being is those are predator magnets. Imagine if you get surprised and you just faint, right? Michael Myers movie, you just die. Right,
but it's so
it's
funny,
like the knife comes out, you collapse, you're eaten.
But the irony is, like, how many whatever amount of years have they survived? See?
Well, they've survived because they're captive animals.
Because they're great. I'm just saying.
Because somebody like you moves them inside.
Right.
But you're saying crated. Like, aren't we in a culture where I'm supposed to say something about, like, what do you mean you don't have free-range ducks? Bruh. Yeah.
Oh, they are. They are free range. My full farm, if you come on, you come through the front gate, there's turkeys, geese, ducks, goats. There's animals everywhere. It is literally a menagerie of freaking animals.
Yeah, but I'm in your house.
Well, but now in the house we got free range dogs and cats. But I'm not letting baby chickens go with my dogs and cats. We'll have no more baby chickens. So, but the goats, because unlike a dog and cat, you can really train to use litter boxes and go outside and whatnot. You're not doing that with goats. So goats poop pellets. I'm pretty sure the dogs will take care of most of that mess for us if that happens. You're welcome for that. You're welcome. But if they go to pee somewhere, there ain't no stopping it. So you have to crate them up enough. And imagine Rudolph in the movies and jumping and everything else. Oh, yeah. Now having 9 little bitty, Mexican jumping beans going all over the place. Wow. That's what our house would totally look like. Sure. We'll have videos. I will absolutely go live with all the baby goats running through the house.
That needs to happen. At least Christmas will be saved. Okay,
right.
John, Alton.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What was the question I got?
Do you bring your goats inside? That was really it's winter outside. Do your animals come in for the winter?
Yeah, I mean, we've got indoor animals. Unfortunately, I don't have land, and if they were free range, it's just to the fence right there. So no, nothing.
Yeah. I've got actually I let I've got a part German Shepherd, part Great Pyrenees, big old dog. And, he likes the cold, but I let him in all night last night. And then I guess he had to go to the bathroom. So he's standing at the door and I let him out and he walks like 3 steps and he turns around and looks at me like, oh man. Anyway, but
how big's your Great Pyrenees?
Huge. The last time I weighed him, he was like 110 pounds. But he's so big, he just like opened the door and let himself back in. So
I've got 2 Great Pyrenees. One's 190 pounds. The other one is 170. They sit with our outside goats.
Yeah.
And they protect them from all the predators.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Literally, the male can stand on his back legs and put his head on top of my wife's head.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, things are massive.
His neighbor has a pit bull, and they yell at each other sometimes when I'm over there, and I'm just like, who would win in that fight? This dog's huge.
But it just reminded me. You mentioned the goat pellets. So my daughters were studying about animals, and I found out yesterday wombats poop in cubes.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It's a true story. Yeah, it's true.
Cubes.
They poop
How
squares.
cool would that be? Cubes. 3D.
That would not feel good. So no. I don't know. Especially when you get a really big one. Oh.
That little bit of information, that's why Alton is homeschooling. See? Already, his kids are ahead of things.
It's Australia. Everything is crazy in Australia. It's not even like pooping cubes.
I kind of want to see a video of this now. I want to see what square poop looks like.
Well, if you want to see a video of pooping, you should check out what happens when a hippopotamus poops.
Based on John's reaction, I don't think I want to see that video.
That is insane. Like
that's like some Jurassic Park Triceratops stuff. That's a lot of poop.
Check this out. This is what happens. Hippo poops.
See what you did, Barb?
Their tail is like a poop chopper, swinger, slinger. And they just, it's nuts.
It's funny.
Check it out.
When I wrote these questions, I thought there's just no way to make this show go bad. It's going to be way cleaner than when we had Phil Palucha on,
No, you see, the problem is you got 3 Texans here and a person from Washington trying to help.
Right.
Am I helping? I don't feel like I'm helping.
Look, I didn't introduce
feeding the fire.
Donnie brought up poop. I was just carrying on the conversation.
We'll blame the guest. Okay.
All right, guest. I'm used to
see. So you're headed into your weekend movie marathon. Do you choose all animated films or all Rocky films?
Ooh, Rocky. All day long.
Only because you only had a choice of Bambi or Rocky,
if I'm gonna, do anything, it's gonna be all fantasy movies. Put me in Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, and I'm there all day long. But if given the choice between animation and Rocky, yeah, dude, I want to be able to feel like I could, put on sweatpants and run around the farm, put a toboggan on, and beat the hell out of a Russian.
Sure. That makes sense to me, actually.
Right. But yeah, given my choice, I'll kick a fire on, grab a bottle of Captain Morgan, and I'll sit down and watch every fantasy movie on the face of the earth. And then hopefully by the end of it, I finally learned how to do some sort of magic spells or something. Cause I just, I'm true story on my farm, a freaking owl was delivering my Hogwarts letter, and the damn thing got one of my chickens and got distracted by one of my freaking chickens. So I never got my letter.
It's the thing they don't talk about in the books, but it happens all the time.
But I had a big, huge white owl land on my farm. This thing gorgeous. We got some great videos of it. And I got the videos because it was eating my chicken.
That's payment for the delivery.
Right. So the running joke was 100%. I don't take credit cards. I didn't get my Hogwarts letter because of my damn chickens.
Man, that's cool. At least it was chickens and not. We used to have owls that would perch at the edge of the farm and they would spot our kittens. Owls can go after kittens. I think they're they're like treats, Anyway.
Yeah, so chickens aren't fluffy, so that's tragic.
Yeah, it was a little bit gross. It's why my kids to this day sort of view cats as expendable, which I know is really unfortunate. It's just that they don't, like, oh, it's a cat. In 3 months, there'll be another one. And anyway, that's dark. Sorry. Okay, Alton.
Somebody's giving you hell for that one.
Yeah.
I've actually picked up doing a lot more boxing lately. And so I think it would be more enjoyable to watch some Rocky movies. I'm not really like the anime fan. Although if you haven't watched Naruto and you think that you would not like those types of movies and shows, you got to check out Naruto.
I meant animation, like Cinderella.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I thought you were talking the anime, the Chinese stuff.
Oh,
I'm not that mean.
Yeah,
I know.
Naruto sounds like something I'd get it at my favorite sushi restaurant. I mean,
well,
can I get a
actually,
play of that Naruto, please?
his favorite is ramen, but you were close.
Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
if you like the fantasy land, check out Naruto.
So you got tired of getting your ankle snapped in practice, and now you're ready for boxing?
Well, right now I have a dislocated rib, which is not nearly as bad as a broken rib, but it's still not very fun. No, man, I've always boxed, but I've never been trained. But we got this guy who likes boxing, and it turns out there's techniques to boxing. It's not just like trying to like punch people. So it's really fascinating. Like I've been in so many fights and never been trained how to box. And now I'm like, man, if somebody had 1 week of boxing training versus me, they would have killed me.
So did you find out that the headbutt is not necessarily the best weapon to use?
I will never admit to that. I think it's very relevant.
Reached that lesson yet?
Boxing, the only skill they should teach is ducking. Just don't get hit.
Wear the guy out. I do not. I have never seen a Rocky movie, and I don't really care to see it, unfortunately.
What?
We're no longer friends, John.
What?
Yeah,
John
you
has
just got
terrible
disowned.
taste in movies.
Did I get kicked out of the group?
Yeah,
Bro,
you're voted off
I'm
the
out,
island.
man. You can stay.
No, I mean, it just doesn't interest me. I mean, it's...
Wait,
come
stop
on.
the show.
Yeah, I gotta know what's a good movie then.
What?
I mean, I'll watch The Expandables or what was it? What's Rainbow? I'll watch those movies that he's
Rainbow?
done.
Did he say Rainbow? Expandables and Rainbow. That's what I freaking heard. Dude, I don't know what you're into, but I'm pretty sure that's not kid safe.
Like I thought that. Okay, hang on, because the John that I know loves jujitsu and MMA, wants to be the UFC ref. Haven't seen Rocky.
Yeah, I mean, boxing's boring as hell. It really is.
I don't know what to say, man.
It's not a boxing movie. There's boxing in the movie, but it's a American Dream freaking movie. That's what it is.
See, John doesn't take suggestions like that.
John, you just lost all your cool cards. Just turn them in.
I'm looking for a reaction that's appropriate, and I don't see one.
It means that you do have to answer the follow-up question, though. Okay, so you're not going to watch Rocky. So what are your top 3 animated movies that you're going to pick?
I guess it's Toy Story at this point. My man card's been revoked by everybody apparently. So
A little bit.
No, I mean,
boxing is boring.
Yes, it really is.
As a sport, I think so. I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I was asked to look into officiating that stuff, and I started looking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'd be letting people knee each other and
just for interest.
Yeah,
as they're clenching, reach in there. Hey, headbutt him for me, would you?
Bam. So I can't think of any animated movies right off the bat. I really can't.
Okay. Well, Mulan and Cinderella.
When I think of animated, sometimes I'm thinking of like, the Iron Man and all that, because it's got a lot of animation to it. But
what?
I guess there are Iron Man
Those are
cartoons.
special
I guess I didn't
effects.
specify.
What? Okay.
All right, we're gonna save John's reputation here. Moving on. So, what is something that you played when you were a kid that every kid today should know how to play?
So
The flute. Oh, wait. Sorry.
I'm leaving that one alone.
Yeah, I tried, John.
Oh, for growing up as a kid for me, man, I grew up on a 500-acre farm in Kansas until about the age of 11. So we didn't have TVs. We had horses. So I really wish more kids were put out in the countryside. I mean, us getting grounded wasn't, hey, you're grounded to your room. It was put on the back of a horse and go check the back 40. So I really wish just more kids would be taken. I'm torn. I love technology and what it's brought, but I do think all the kids at some point.
I think I want to say paintball. I don't know if everybody needs to know, but that's what I played and I loved it. But I did a lot of fishing, and I feel like that's maybe a better answer than paintball, just because it's pretty a usable skill that connects you to nature. And, you got to learn patience and, suffer next to the water. So, yeah, maybe fishing.
That's a good one. All right. I was going to say pencils, which I know is terrible, but I sort of go with me on this. I think that kids today probably just in general need less stuff, like fewer toys, I can't fathom handing a screen off to my kid when I could hand them a handful of different sized pencils and an encyclopedia, and they can play people with it. Like, and here we are going here. That's imagination. I'm just saying, like, my kids had to spend a lot of time in hospitals when they were younger, and they played bug fingers all the time. Yeah, if you're not watching the video, this is weird. Sorry. But you know what? You can be in
It's weird watching it.
You can be in a room for hours and entertain yourself if you've brought your imagination along. So I'm kind of a little Donnie on that. Just use your own brain. All right. I think we have time for one more question before we have ruined enough reputation.
Question, am I winning now?
No. Hard pass, no. Sorry.
Wait, were you even playing?
Yeah. Okay.
I just want to bring up, I was talking about hippo poop. Go ahead.
Is that supposed to bump your points or to knock them down? I can't even. Okay. Speaking of John's terrible taste in movies, when Harry met Sally, okay, the great question of the 90s anyway, can men and women just be friends?
Wow, that's a great question. I honestly don't know how to answer that. And here's why. I have single friends that want to hang out and go get drinks and beers and everything else. I don't want to hang out with them. I don't want to go hang with a bunch of single people because my wife and I got a great relationship and I'm never going to freaking jeopardize that. So if based on that, I'm going to say no. I think there's always going to be some sort of tension somewhere, and alcohol is the great idiot maker. So I mean,
and you're drinking that too much.
Right. I mean, me and alcohol are really good friends, just, if you know Morgan as well as I do, you don't have to call him Captain. But yeah, I based off of that alone, that I don't want to go hang out with single friends. Not that I would hopefully never put myself in that situation, but alcohol makes you do dumb things. So,
would you say that even if you were single though?
I don't know. It's been so damn long since I was single, yeah, I don't know. I think I think because everybody is traditionally like attracted to somebody first, everybody, kind of connects on looks and then you kind of geek out together. So I think there's always a undertone of some sort of physical thing. So I'm going to go with no. Final answer.
I actually would disagree with you, Donnie. I would go with they can. It is very rare or hard, but, growing up, there were some redneck girls that I would not want to date, but they were so fun. They were so fun to be around. I mean, you give them a thing of chewing tobacco, they'd sit there and do it with you, but Yeah, would
John,
not touch them.
you've had beer goggles before, brother. Don't tell me that.
Hey, stop bringing stuff up. Man, you're killing me, Donnie.
What is it? A 2 at 10? It's a 10 at 2? I mean, come on.
What do you
I'm
think,
going to hell
Barbara?
for that one.
So Alton can't really answer this because he's only had one girlfriend his whole life.
Well,
I'd say he can
that's
answer
not
it.
true.
Better than most, because really you're saying like my curiosity is not just if you're single, but in general. So
I had a lot of, like growing up in high school, I didn't have a lot of rules that I had to follow, but Heather did. So even though we were dating, I had a couple of friends that were girls that I hung out with all the time. And
Do you now?
No, I mean, like generally,
that
no
proves my
offense
point.
to you females. Like I don't really hang out with girls because there's just not that many girls that want to go play paintball or like go fishing at 3 a.m. or do all the other dumb things that I wanted to do.
We call those dudes with long hair.
So,
They're the ones that want to paintball, go fishing at 3 a.m. They're cool chicks to hang out with.
yeah. So like I hung out with girls
God, I'm
that
going to
were
catch so
not
much hell
my,
for this.
my girlfriends. And that I didn't really want to be their girlfriends, but they were super cool and we had good relationships. But then who knows? They probably all liked me, right? So can I really say,
eye candy from way back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They were just hoping. They were just trying to position themselves well. But I ain't falling for that.
Nice.
All nice to you as a stallion, man. I can see it.
I mean,
The ladies' man.
I'd keep saying it. It's got to be true, So
All right, Barb, you get the final say on that question.
Yeah, I'm going to go mostly with Donnie. I think it's extremely rare, but possible. Possible under like certain circumstances, right? So like I can think of when I was in college, I was a musician, had a bass player that I worked with. And I think that within the first couple of gigs together, we realized that we would kill each other if we ever dated. It'd be awful. And it didn't really matter that if we were attractive to each other. We had such a good time playing music. He'd leave the bass at the house all night. We'd play all day long. So it's happened, but I think it's rare. I think it's rare to have a completely platonic relationship. And I'm with Donnie that like, if you don't do things to screw it up. I think if you're married, you don't put yourself in positions to mess it up, So the friendship, I think, looks different.
So does that mean you have the thing for me since we talk all the time and we hang out together?
I think it's the other way around. He said that. Didn't he say that?
oh man, she was ready.
Well played. Well played, Barb.
Holy.
Welcome
Barb.
to another episode of ThinkFast.
Absolutely. And then coming up, make sure you also catch our other extra segment where we're going to dig into Donnie's past and find out all the things he doesn't want us to ask him, including who his worst guess is. So stay tuned for that one. We'll see y'all next time on the next Deciding Factor podcast and extra. Guys, say bye.
Adios.
Bye.
See ya.
This has been another episode of the Deciding Factor Extra, giving you food for thought on real-life issues. Be sure to click, like, and subscribe to this podcast, as well as all your big social media outlets, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Don't forget to check out our website, thedecidingfactorpodcast.com, and give us comments and feedback. Until next time, stay safe and keep an open mind.